Just a minute, Alex. One of the things that we realized, or we didn't know when we came to this project, to this particular course, is why are some projects failing in our country. And we realized by the end of the 3 weeks that you are using people who are not even familiar with the problems on the ground. So the reason why we are using people who are already on the ground is first of all to save on cost. I don't need to employ another HR person. The county government has so many HR people. KFS has HR people. KWS has HR people. So it's only to second. Because at the end of the day, even the implementing people who are going to implement the project are civil servants working in particular departments. So do you need to recruit another project manager? No. You only second somebody to that particular project. So for us to see it not becoming an issue, having the HR person on the county level to recruit people who are going to do law enforcement. Because at the end of the day, when the project ends, where will those people go? They'll go back to their respective departments and continue with the work. So I think we took that approach for even after the project, the work will still go on. Thank you.
Next question from.
Thank you for the presentation. Yes, in the first slide as well as the plan of operation, we just start straight away in 2019, meaning next year. And I just feel that today is 23rd, and then maybe 1 week more it will be in October. So this means that if like hit the ground run, is it possible to do so?
Actually, our aspirations are, by the time we leave this room today, we get a donor to fund this program. So we will not start to go to give our money.
Hit the ground running, yeah.
Okay, let me say that we came here, the two of us, but when we were preparing the PCM, we assumed that we were so many. So we actually took the project like, we are doing it, it is there with us, and we'll get the money. And I want to be honest, it was a debate between me and Alex. We wanted to change the date to next year. Yeah, but Alex convinced me that we can do this. It's very optimistic. So, but it came into our minds when we were doing the final report.
All right, anyone got any more questions? I think everyone's happy if they had the money.
Thank you so much.
Just say
Yes. Does anyone to give
so you are a very clever people. I cannot help but feel very proud of each and every one of you. The content of your proposed project, you are your own expert. You know how to respond to questions very well. And it is beyond the aim of the PCM to go into the content, say. But as far as the learning outcome, the PCM, and in terms of the conduct, the methods, I think you all got it. You got it. So I'm very proud. I feel like I want to break down, and I appreciate very much all the kind words. I want to believe that what you have said came from at the bottom of your heart. And I wanted to say in response to all those good comments, with respect to the PCN, I forgot what I wanted to say. That the feeling is mutual. So we were only too lucky to use the little that we know about the PCN, that we know based on the experiences that we have. I guess, I think this is the way to go. We are all in this together. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Henry. Alright, now we come to the last country, Philippines. We may invite the Philippines to give a presentation about the action plan.
Lady first.
So I have a very simple presentation, so just bear with me, and the TCTP 2019 will be over. So all of you here, most of your presentation are on the conservation of our natural resources. But here I will be presenting the development of agricultural development of our country. But let me tell you the assumption, no, not the assumption, the reality that the agricultural development that I will be proposing is for our grassland. So these are the grasslands that are not utilized by our country, and these are considered as degraded. So for my presentation, just because, so this is the background. So here is Philippines, and the Philippines is divided into regions, and then this is the province, my target area, and this will be the municipal, and it, sure.
Your voice is microphonic enough.
Okay. I will not use the mic. It's very difficult also. So this will be the area where the project will be developed in Bohol. So the site name, as I said earlier, it is a watershed, but this watershed is denuded. So within this watershed, we have what we call a small water impounding project. So I'll show you the picture of a small water impounding later. So this is, the address is in San Jose, and soil type is clay. It is clay since the small water impounding project would only be done in areas where the soil type is clay, because the water would be stored longer in a texture where when the soil texture is clay. So the area is 15 hectares. Present land use within that area are grassland, pasture land, and the farm watershed area condition are some parts planted with palm trees, denuded watershed, and unproductive areas. So possible source of water is rain-fed and the small water impounding project. So this is the small water impounding project. You see the reservoir, and you see the areas that are bare, that are not utilized. This is the vegetated area, and some areas are for agricultural production. But in these areas, you have not shown in the pictures are the built-up areas where the farmers live. So the tendency, if you have a denuded watershed, this small water impounding project will shorten its lifespan. So the ideal lifespan of this one is 25 years. But when soil erosion is highly occurs in this area, this will only last for 10 years. So what is the purpose of this one, the small water impounding project? So these are used for irrigation and also for conservation practices of farmers. So in here, we don't have the highly irrigation system like dams. So what we do is we develop small water impounding project in the absence of irrigation dams in our country. So this is the area you see, no trees, there are trees, but these are shrubs. So the tendency of erosion here is very high. So who will be involved in this project? So we have, of course, our farmers. We also have my institution, the Bureau of Soils and Water Management, our local government units, the provincial local government units, the possible funding agency, where after we do this one, we also do proposal for Jeff for this one to be approved, and our Department of Environment, the state colleges and universities, the community surrounding that area, the Department of Agriculture, the civil societies, the non-government organization, the provincial local government units, and others that I forgot to mention. So, easy life. So I did not have the luxury of time to make the chart. So what I did is made this in paint to make it easier. So I will have time yesterday to go to Gaia Street. So I made it simple to have the luxury of roaming a day in Kota Kinabalu. So I already presented this in the previous day, so no need for me to dig deeper on this one. But the main problem that we are addressing in my project proposal is the soils in the upland areas are being degraded. So we will have this one as the causes, and if this one will be solved, what will if this one will not be solved, what will be the possible consequences? So that's the problem. And we have here the objective analysis. So the objective of my project is to reduce soil degradation. So how will you do this one? To minimize soil erosion, to regulate the conversion of agricultural land, and to reduce the use of chemical inputs. So it has the sub-objectives for the objectives to be attained. And after that, we have the project selection. So I did it in paint, so I played in paint to finish this one. So I grouped this one into one project, and then one project. So this is the first project, the soil conservation model farm approach. The second is policies and enforcement approach. The third one is more on research and development. So we did the project selection analysis. I did it myself, and I selected these two according to my analysis to come up with the project. So this will be my project proposal. It's still a proposal. So establishment of soil conservation model farm in the watershed of small water impounding project in Mabini, Bohol. So duration is 3 years. Target area, Mabini, Bohol. My main target groups are farmers within the watershed of small water impounding project, and project fund is 6 million within 6 years. So if you convert that into dollars, it's 115,000. So the project design, I already have my project, so this will be the project design matrix. My overall goal, this is my vision, to improve the soil quality while enhancing the productivity of the farmers. So you improve their land, but you also provide them livelihood so that they could earn an economic value while doing the conservation. So the objective, the indicators are improve the land degradation in the area. So how will you see if the land degradation is improved? You do land degradation assessment map using trends.earth. So it will measure the difference between your base year. Your base year is like, if I started at 2020 and then ends at 2023, to see if there is an improvement or your land is stable or there is degradation that occurs. So we use GIS in that one. So also increase the production of the farmers by 50% after 3 years. So how will you verify it? The number of produced crops, and the important assumption in this goal is the data on land cover, land productivity, and soil carbon is available in our country. So we go down. So I have my goal. My purpose is to reduce soil degradation. So my indicator is that one is for the soil conservation model farm to be established in that watershed. So verification is for that to be established, and my indicator also is the improvement of land cover by the end of that project. You can measure land cover using Trends.Earth, as I had mentioned earlier. So the assumption in this one is that the data on land cover is available during that year. The data for our land cover in our country is every after 5 years. So they measure it 2020, 2025, and 2030. So project, then you have your purpose. My purpose again, so I'm reiterating again so that it will stuck in my mind. My purpose is to reduce land degradation. So how will I reduce land degradation? I have two outputs. The first one is to minimize soil erosion, and the second one is to regulate conversion of agricultural lands. So for the first one, how will what are my indicators for the measurement of soil erosion? So this one is the reduction of soil loss in tons per hectare. So also 90% of the farmers within the watershed of small water impounding project trained within 2 years of the implementation, and 10 trainings to be conducted, and 10 IEC materials developed within the first year of the implementation of the project. So these are the means of verification, more or less these are the numbers of trained, numbers of IEC materials. That is for the first project output. The second output is to regulate the conversion of agricultural lands. What do you mean? This is the program related for the policy-related approach. So my indicators is that 3 to 5% of the agricultural lands in the municipality is converted to other land uses. There is these indicators because you cannot totally eliminate land conversion because our law gave the powers for the local government. We need to decide land conversion for the good of the public. So if there is really a need for agricultural lands to be converted for the better good of the public, they will allow it, such as the construction of roads, the construction of institutional infrastructures. And then 3 consultation workshops are conducted. So you need to consult the stakeholders. What are the agricultural areas to be delineated or to be protected? And 90% of the stakeholders involved on the planning and implementation of the CLUP are trained within 2 years. The CLUP is our local plans. This is our local plans, comprehensive land use plans. We have our national. We have so many plans in the Philippines that we are so confused on what really is implementable or to be implemented. Imagine, we have the national plan, we have the regional plans, we have provincial plans, and then we have municipal plans, and we have also barangay plans. So look, and also within that plans, there is also the forest land use plans that is separated within the jurisdiction of our Department of Environment. So, how will you incorporate these all plans to come up with one plans to be implemented? And project activities. So these are the detailed project activities in order to attain the project output. So soil erosion is minimized. So before you come up with the soil conservation model farm, you conduct surveys, you develop the farm plans, you do the selection of appropriate soil and water conservation measures to be implemented, And then after that one, you establish it, and you also for monitoring, you establish the erosion pin in order to measure the loss, the soil loss in tons per hectares. You develop your IEC materials, and you conduct trainings for your farmers, and you conduct the measurement for the monitoring part. And for the conversion of agricultural lands to be regulated, what are the activities? You conduct the consultation workshop, you delineate your protection, you delineate the areas to be protected, you conduct trainings for your local government units, and you mainstream sustainable land management and biodiversity conservation areas in the local plans, and you develop the soil conservation model farm as tourism site. So what I observed in my stay here in Sabah is that their programs became sustainable because they have involved the people, and also they provide livelihood for their people in the community, such as tourism. So when you do that one, there is conservation. At the same time, the people are earning. You encourage the community to participate because they are getting their livelihood with conservation. So this is an add-ons for this part. Maybe there is a need really for what we are doing in our government to develop our soil conservation model farm as tourism site. And this is my project appraisal. So the ideal situation for this one is you do this with the stakeholders. But since the stakeholder is only me, I answered it in my own prerogative. So I put 5 high score for relevance because my purpose is relevant to my goal, and my goal is relevant to the national goals of our country to attain, to reduce poverty, the such by 2025 like that. So I see its relevance to our national goals. And for the effectiveness, the purpose, soil erosion is minimized. You cannot totally eradicate it because, as they said, soil erosion is a natural process. So what you do is only to reduce it. So you cannot. So I give the score 3, and effectiveness of the output also 3. The efficiency of the outputs 4, inputs 4. Impact, I see that there's a good impact in my goal and purpose, and the sustainability of the goal is 5, and the others like that one. So this is my plan of operation. So since I cannot totally break down the cost by the very, very specific. So what I did is put a cost per output. So in order to minimize soil erosion, I valued it at 4 million peso. And then the other one is for the second output, I valued it at 2 million peso. So these are the expected results per activity and the schedule. So I divide, this is for 3 years. So this is for the first semester, second semester, also in the year 2, year 3. And person in charge is mostly BSWM, but during the implementation, we will ask the help of other agencies. Wait, so how do you call this one? So what is my comment about PCM? It's just like a circle there. I'm still my first question when we started the PCM method is, why are we starting with the stakeholder analysis? The normal process, start of the process is you ask yourself, what is the problem? But when we came here, we started with who is our stakeholder. So it was the PCM made the problem analysis, longer. For me, longer because you did not directly attack what is the problem. You start with who is your stakeholders. So I asked also efforts during that time, and he explained that you will still be doing the process, but it's a longer process. So when I tried it now, I realized maybe this works really because you got to review what is really your problem, because you started with your stakeholders. So that's one of the things that I realized with PCM. I think this is the end of my presentation. Yay! Thank you!
Alright, yes, yeah, it's almost coming to the end. We open up the session for questions and answers or comments. Are there any questions from the floor? Everyone seems to be happy.
we need to think a little about what Jolly spoke towards the end of our presentation. Which should come first, problems or stakeholders? Oh, this is like the questions, which come first, the egg or the chicken?
Yes.
Problem first?
Yes.
I think what the way I'm trying to get it into my bloodstream.
Into your blood what?
I'm KWS, or I'm NEMA, or I'm KFS, or I'm my department. As one person, I see there's a problem somewhere. I notice in my mind, okay, there's a problem. There's a conservation problem here. I should, after I've seen there's a problem, I should not continue analyzing the problem. I should ask myself, who will assist me solve the problem? So I'll go back to stakeholders. I'll call them and tell them, I think there's a problem here. What do you feel? Some stakeholders will tell me there's no problem, leave it. But others who feel the urgency, then the process goes on. Because if, yes, you've analyzed your problem, then where do you take it? And then after you get your stakeholders, are you going again to analyze with them the problem? I think it's just a method of calling many minds together to look at the problem that you actually saw happening.
That's true. But in as far as the PCM method is concerned, we did not actually start from square one with problem analysis. Because first and foremost, we need to define the title, the project that you are proposing. Right? So, in a way, when you identify the project, you are already thinking about what is the problem. Right? So, when you identify the project, so in a way you have already identified what the problem is. Then the next stage, you have the stakeholder analysis. So the problem analysis following the stakeholder analysis is a more detailed analysis of the problems.
In some contexts, it used to be taught. You just mentioned problem, they just call the roots of the problem. They come to the problem. And then they just start follow up. Okay. It will be stakeholder analysis, stakeholder evaluation.
Yeah. So the problem analysis phase proper is about that, to identify what the root problems are. Whereas in the beginning, you are just thinking about, like what Kenya spoke mentioned. You're thinking about there is a problem. There is a problem. So we capture, we frame this problem in the form of a title. Right. So another point that I think very true, not only in the Philippines, also in Sabah. There are so many management plans, or plan of action, or strategic plan, or what have you. They call it by various names. But I mean, they are all more or less the same. So how do you go about, addressing this issue? And because there are many plan of action, and they exist at various levels. At the state level, or even further up, at the country level, there is one, state level, and then at the district level, and at the local level. The activities prescribed can be conflicting with each other.